Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18. I'm Dalshad Irani and today I'm in conversation with Prasanth Kumar, the CEO of WPP Media South Asia. Earlier this year, GroupM, the world's largest media investments firm, rebranded and restructured to WPP Media. But what does this shift and transformation entail for the India market? Where are the growth drivers coming from? What are the new disruptions AI is bringing in? What is the future of media? We are unpacking all this and a lot more with Prasanth on the show today. Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18 PK. Absolutely thrilled to be here with you today at the campus. It's been a busy year for you. It's been a busy year for the industry, but especially WPP Media. Lots of changes, lots of disruptions, external, internal. Given, of course, the major rebranding and restructuring that happened of GroupM to WPP Media, let's just zoom out a little bit right at the start, PK, and tell me how does this affect, how have the past few months been for WPP Media now in India?
Oh, great. First of all, thanks for having me. So, yeah, you're right. I think it's quite a fast evolving landscape, right? This is a phrase I think for the last 10 years I've been using it. So at the same time, I think the pace is really, actually going up even further. But for us, this rebranding, from GroupM to WB Media, it's not just a name change alone, right? I think it also comes from the context that we are playing a very central role of how we integrate all the WPP leverage to all our customers, right? And it also gives the opportunity for our people to, progress, in a consistent manner. I think we have looked at from the context of how we should. It's a new world coming up, right? And every 5 years, every 7 years, the world keeps changing, and we all know that. But the next phase of growth, what it really means to us, and especially given the India context, I think that's quite inspiring, right? It's also inspiring from the context that it's exciting to see that how the opportunities are really going up. Of course, it comes with the bag of challenges and riddles to be solved, but the opportunities are not, something which is stagnant, right? And we see this from the context of how we play, from a larger span of slightly more long term, let's say 2030, next 5 year strategy. So globally, we look at from a Vision 30 strategy, right, which has got 4 pillars. One of them is collaboration, and that's very, very, very significantly important on how we collectively leverage what assets, what knowledge, and how we apply to many of the solutions that we want to give to our clients. Right? The second one is the data and tech part,
Right.
which I think we all clearly understand now on the rapid change of the significance of both data and technology, and AI plays a very central role there. I think innovation is not something new, but at the same time, given these context of changes, I think being inventive becomes very, very critical. And definitely the fourth one is the people, right? So how we continuously develop our people, how we continuously train them, how we look at different expanded, skills and diversified skills to play on. So these are 4 pillars which we look at. So for us, this has come at the right time, this has come at the appropriate aspect, and it's an opportunity for us to look at the next phase of growth, given globally as well as for India. So we look at it from that context, and we are quite excited about it.
You spoke about India being inspiring. Now, of course, WPP as a group has been facing some tremendous headwinds globally. India, more or less, is a bit of a shining example, globally as well for the group, and WPP Media, especially in the country, is the largest. Let's, before we get to the people part, let's talk a little bit about, where that growth is going to come from. Give me the specifics on what you are seeing as the opportunities here, whether it's in technology, whether it's in certain categories. Next 5 years, as you say, where will the growth come from? Because that is the big challenge for everyone today, especially with the ad holdcos. So tell me a little bit about where you see that growth coming from.
Great. That's a very interesting question. And, as we want to look at our growth, I think our growth is not a subject which is pre to our customers' growth, right? I think first we should talk about our customers.
Absolutely.
And over the years, there's one consistency that we have been keeping to ensure that the path and the learning and the application for our customers' growth is very, very important. When I look at that, I think, you know, as I mentioned earlier, we're in a new world, right? And the source of growth for our customers, and even if you look at it from the context of the consumption pattern, I think we have been going through a post-pandemic, we've had a mixed bag, right? We've had a couple of years post-2020, which has been good. We had some great growth.
Everything was revenge in that phase, right?
In a way.
Revenge shopping,
Yes.
Revenge, yeah.
So, and played it across categories. It's not just unique to one category, played it across categories. And I think post that, during that time, we also saw a lot of, VC investments coming into it and supporting from that context. But I think slowly that had to take some calls and probably that went out. But that's from an investment perspective, and therefore what that brought challenges to some of the categories. But when it came back and it grew a lot of consumption, we started seeing some plateauing, of those kind of, consumption growth and so on, which if you look at the data, we get to understand in multiple categories. Now, what also happened is not just the recovery of some of these businesses, and it's not just the shape of growth, for many of these categories. It's also how the shape of growth is new, how it's got the recovery of shape itself is coming in new forms. And let's look at, for example, some of these, large businesses which are from a trade perspective, and that's where one of the most excited, most frequently used word called e-commerce gets, into the thick of all actions, right? So, if you look at the source of business from general trade to modern trade to commerce and now quick commerce, I think it's again evolved. And we see in the next 5 years that probably a 10 to 12% source of business from general trade may probably get shifted to, businesses which are more modern trade or commerce, from that context. It could be quick commerce or marketplace, or even the brand.com, which is the D2C part of business. That's a fundamental change of doing business. What this essentially means is the contribution of how media itself is getting prepared and getting shaped up to how you can really work with this new fundamental change of source of business for multiple categories, right? So, in a simple way to put it, I think you will see a rapid shift to digital, digital media, digital focus, which again is not just playing from the context of entertainment, it's playing in the context of commerce, it's playing in the context of influencer marketing, it's playing in the context of social media, and so and many more, right? So, which means the customer business is also going to see a largest change in which the source of business will come from different cohorts and different markets. At the same time, the model itself slowly evolving. When we apply that to our business, we'll have to get prepared on that. So, definitely going there, digital, as I said, is one. Right. But at the same time, India is going to be a country where the traditional media is going to continuously be there. So, there is no significant change there, but it will play a role. And there is a room for that because multiple consumption pattern in media is going to have the content actually taking the central space, and that's going to be consistent. So, there is a role for traditional media, but there is a role for digital in a different form. And in the language of marketing, I think we see the full funnel play out, and it's not just going to be from an awareness perspective, but also from the context of conversion. So, these are the three lenses which will apply: customer business model changing, media habits changing, and therefore how it implies on the media consumption pattern, and therefore how it implies on the marketing aspects changing. So, our focus clearly are going to strengthen this, right? Which will mean we will definitely have more profound solutions on how digital solutions can help our client. The usage of data and technology will have a larger perspective, so understanding consumer and where we can get insights as well as apply them. I think also from the context of content and how we use AI to get more personalization, right? So all of this is really what the thick of the work which we are finding very exciting, and how all our team is really into it
And preparing for it.
and preparing for it. I think it's a continuous journey. It's never a uniform need for one client. Even within the same category is never a uniform need,
Yeah.
right? So you can imagine how it happens in multi-categories. So that's even more exciting for us to look at, right? I hope I've landed this, 3 key points which we're looking at.
Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on WPP Media.
Yeah.
Like we spoke earlier, it's been a year of a lot of change for WPP globally as a group. Even within the group, new CEO just coming in. Lots of changes, lots of consolidation. Of course, the major one being GroupM getting, transitioning into WPP Media. Are you at a point where you feel like you're stable and prepared enough to tap into some of these growth opportunities that you were talking about? Because you're seeing it a lot as opportunities versus challenges from what I gather, which is fantastic. But is WPP Media prepared enough? Are you settled with the leadership here? Because that's another aspect that's been playing out, right? The leadership changes, the transitions, the restructuring, the influx of new talent, redundancies, all of that. Do you feel you are currently in a stabilizing mode? Where are you? Where are you placed, PK?
Yeah. So in the recent past, I think these are questions which are not anymore unique to one industry.
True, very true.
It's applicable to every industry right now. But if I take specific to WPP India and WPP Media India, from that context, I think I have lots of gratitude on how this business got shaped in the country, and how many leaders, even prior to us and prior to me, and we're continuously doing this, right? And therefore, we are very fortunate and blessed that we have a great team, we have a fantastic portfolio of customers, and I think the way we work with our partners, so these 3 comes handy every millisecond for us, and that's the fact. Now, the only thinking is, how do we better our story for our customers, for our partners, for our people? So it's not just one part of it. Yeah. How do we better? How do we progress this? I think that becomes a very, very interesting and exciting thing, especially when multiple changes are happening across. Which is very simply put, what's in your control, focus on that, and don't get distracted to what's not in your control, right? I think we as a team have been completely on it. And therefore, accountability for our customers, to our people, as well as the entire collaborative aspect of working with our partners become very, very critical. And that remains to be the anchored in the way of working it is. So I look at it from that principle, right? We are also lucky that we are like top 4, top 5 markets globally, right, for our larger organization. And you're right, with whatever progress we are able to do in the last so many years, I think a lot of recognition is there. And the recognition also comes from the context that we are raring to go for even bigger growth within the market. We are raring to try newer ways of working. We want to experiment different practices, different practice of solution for our customers. We want to look at different cohorts of audiences where the business can make sensible. And we are obviously very large consumer base, over 1.4 billion customer base, right? And it's getting shaped up every day. So that recognition comes on, right? I think all of this really makes us even more committed to the fact that progress can be done in a far more sustainable manner, right? And this needs to get applied into whatever you do for your customers, whatever solutions you look at it, right? The second element, I think, over the recent last almost a year, we have started seeing how the investment on technology, how our entire WPP Open is got shaped up, and all of that has really helped us from
becoming a competitive advantage.
Becoming an advantage, and also being speaking, or rather giving an opportunity to practice like collaboration, and not just within one aspect but multiple aspects, that we are able to sense that and we are able to see those happening. So that gives a reassuring fact that, oh yeah, we're really getting that on the game and on the court, right? So those are aspects which also gives you confidence and wanting to put more on it, right? I think we're also looking at from the context of how shapes of different models. So it's one is to look at from the context of how we are working within our country and how we can be useful for the larger perspective also. So our GDCs, for example, are really playing that role. So all this plays makes you feel that we're playing a significantly important role, makes you accountable, makes you satisfied the fact that you're getting enough recognition to try and do more. So it's a very a good momentum to have, right? And that's what we keep discussing.
It's interesting you mentioned globally, of course, India is a top 4, top 5 market for the group. Given the headwinds that the group is facing maybe in other key markets, do you think if you were to hazard a guess on where India will be for WPP as a group in say 4 or 5 years time, on the back of its media play naturally, because it's massive in India, and of course the growth that the market gives you as an opportunity, where do you think India will be for the group and for WPP Media globally in 4 or 5 years?
Okay,
there's a great opportunity to become, top 3, top 2. Yeah, don't you think?
Definitely. So the ambition is to, progress every year. I definitely want to be, the progress will clearly mean that move from 5 to 4, 4 to 3, right? For instance, so being in top 3 is a wonderful ambition to have, and that's what we are all trying to look at. But that's from a growth perspective. And we also are well-wishers for our other markets also, because we don't want a growth when the market falls. That's not the growth which you're looking at. And the rank is a different aspect, but growth is what we are looking at, right? So playing a larger contributor, how much ever we can see, a sensible and a responsible contributor for the larger organization growth, I think I'll put it in that way. And there, being a top 2 markets, top 3 markets from an incremental perspective, I think will be a good state for us to be in, right? Everything else is derivative, from that, whether you're number 1, number 3, number 2. More and more you focus on how can we really be focused on incremental growth year on year. And that will come from not your existing line of business. It'll also come from newer products, newer services, expanded services, diversified stuff. You got to try different things. You got to expand to multiple markets more, within the country. Those are things which will actually make it even more better.
Media measurement, of course, again, a major theme this year, under scrutiny. PK, from your point of view, what is currently broken and what is the fix for it? There's talk about, dismantling BARC's exclusivity. There's, talk about multiple ratings agencies. So tell me what's the view that you have on this? Again, what is broken and what's the fix that you see?
No, so I'll try and make it from a customer lens.
Okay.
Because all this measurement is ultimately playing back to the customer. Right? There is nothing else. I think, first of all, there has to be constant improvement and constant aptitude of thinking of improving the measurement in a country like ours. There is no 2 doubts about it. So,
digital, CTV,
where is that? We are going to have multiple aspects. So it's not that you're going to live with the same formula, same way of working. I mean, we remember 25 years back, dairy method and stuff. You can't. You have to continuously evolve, and any inertia or any slowness on that will have challenges, because customers will look at how they should look at their own measurement and start going with the journey, which is what we have seen many customers looking at it. One of the areas which I think we got to really getting is the lack of having a database for across media is another challenge.
Unified
way of looking at it, because that's what the customer is looking at. Because otherwise you're challenging the customer to look at how an important factor of marketing investment is being measured, or how is it playing back to the business and therefore the outcomes, right? So that's an important fact that comes under the improvement perspective, but I'm just calling out separately from that context. And we as a country, we as an industry, has a lot of responsibility, and I see a lot of efforts being put on that. It's not that I don't see efforts being put on that, but I think that's an important factor. So I'm putting on the table that unified way is a very important factor, which will be more relevant, more so for everybody in the ecosystem or in the coming future.
with the way things are going.
Right? Awareness is one element. We know the 3 parts of the funnel, right? Today we are looking at how do we get to that, if you want to rewind back the steps what the consumer took from being aware to buying it, how do we really know which is working, what is not working, and stuff like that, right? And if you're able to get closer to that, making sensible on that, I think it will be a very interesting factor, right? A very interesting progress as well. This evolution will continue to happen. I think we also looked at trying to answer this from a digital perspective, because that also, while there is a way to read and look at it, there is also a lot of challenges because of multiple inability to exchange data and understand all of that. But if that world continues in that form, then I think every customer will have to look at their own way of how this can be adapted to their own businesses, right? So measurement as an aspect, these are 1 or 2 challenges. What we should do move forward is to get back to the drawing board and make these challenges vaporize in many form, make right progress, try to work on getting on unified ways. It's important because today even if you look at it from the media side, most of the media side has interest, most of them have an interest in the digital side. It's not that, is there anyone who is not playing on the digital side? I don't think so. Even digital out of home is digital.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It's a borderless world.
Even cinema has become digital, in many forms, right? So I don't see that, why you should not have a unified form of looking at things, and that can be very helpful. I did not, I think in an earlier question, I think this is probably, I'll add that we have anywhere between 0.3 to 0.5% of the GDP. And the world is sitting at 1 and above. If you really want to reach there, we got to really work on some of these aspects. That's when the customer confidence starts improving more, right? We as a company, we strongly believe it. So that's why we try to work with different entities and try and see how we can co-create some of these aspects to bring that ability of realization for customers to see how outcomes are coming and what is really playing on it. Wherever we are able to do it, we strengthen that and bring that, right? But I think as an industry perspective, it will help to everybody if we can really solve it. All of us are trying to get there, but I'm just putting on.
Thank you. That's a good note to end our conversation on, PK. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.